What is up, you guys? We are back. It has been a long year, 1 year exactly, since I have made a YouTube video. But today, in honor of October, in honor of Halloween, in honor of, you know, the spooky season, fall starting, the weather's beautiful right now, I wanted to make a video that I think a lot of people will enjoy or find maybe disturbing, whatever the case might be. I love creepy stuff. If you truly know me, I love anything that has to do, again, with Halloween, horror movies, even things that are like paranormal. That's probably one of my favorite things to talk about because it's something that I have experienced, but it is 110% accurate. It is something that did happen, something that even my family could probably attest to. But yeah, before we get into this video, if you guys aren't familiar with my channel, I create videos kind of a little bit all over the place, you know, reviews on certain things, vlogs, a whole bunch of crap. But if you guys are new here, my name is Jaydius, aka Jesus. Some call me Chewy, whatever you guys want to call me. If you guys aren't familiar with my channel, again, please follow me. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into today's video. Alright guys, just having my morning coffee. It's about 10:55 in the morning right now. Got up super early to film this video. So this video, okay, so I'm gonna take you guys back to me being 13, I wanna say. I was in 8th grade when this happened. Long story short, well no, I'm not long story short, but to give you a better broad perspective of what I'm gonna talk about. So my childhood home, I lived there from the age of months. Literally my parents had bought a home. When they had me, I was the 4th kid of 5. So we needed a bigger home. Prior to that, my family was living in a 1-bedroom apartment, I think it was, if it even had one bedroom. So my parents decided to buy our childhood home, which was my home from when I was a little tiny baby, firstborn, to the age of 15. And it's funny because any dream, nightmare, anything that I have when I sleep, like whether it's a dream or a nightmare, it's always in that house. It's never in my current apartment. It's never at my grandma's house where I lived for a long time. It's always in that house, which is very, very weird. So anyway, long story short, getting into the topic. So we're gonna go back to one day, and I had plenty of instances where I encountered stuff in that house. But this time, I remember I was at the movies with my friends. It was nighttime. My dad had picked me up from the movies and we were coming home, and then we got home and there was a ton of my family there. I can't even remember who. I remember possibly my aunts, possibly some cousins, but for sure, for some reason, it was only myself, my dad, and my mom that lived in that house that were there at the time. My brothers weren't there, my sisters weren't there. It was just the 3 of us plus my family. And this particular person, who I had no idea who he was a very tall man, very kind of tan, dark skin, but he was Latino. I remember that for sure because he was speaking Spanish. So when I met him, instantly I got like a very, very like weird vibe off of him. I was like, oh, nice to meet you, da da da. And just the whole energy of, you know, the situation felt very off. My family was being a little tiptoey. So anyway, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember what the fuck they said, but basically the guy was there he was a medium. In other words, he was a medium. He could talk to spirits, he could talk to the dead, what have you. So he was there to kind of fill out our home because we, again, had experienced so many things prior. My dad had experienced a bunch of stuff. I, for one, experienced so much stuff that it's hard for me now to decipher whether there were dreams or they were reality because it's been so long. But I know for sure the ones that I remember that are like cemented in my head were fucking real, for sure. So anyway, so I meet this guy, you know, he right off the bat says, in Spanish again, and my Spanish back then was freaking trash. It still is, but it was worse then. So he was basically saying, in other words, I'm here to, you know, see if there's anything in this home that wants to, you know, connect with you guys, if there's any bad spirits. And I was freaked out. I was so freaked out. I was such a chicken shit back then. Now I'm a little bit better. I can be by myself and not be scared, but back then I was like terrified. So we start walking around the house. It wasn't a huge home, so I remember vividly we walked through to a couple rooms. For some reason, when we go from the living room to the kitchen, mind you guys, this is gonna sound very freaking supernatural, but I promise you this is what this man said. Crossing from the living room to the kitchen, he asked all of us in the family, he said, when you guys walk through these doors or through this door, do you guys ever feel anyone grabbing at your ankles, as if someone's grabbing at your ankles? And I was like, no, like I never felt that. No one in my family. My mom is there, but she's such a skeptic at the time. So that was it. We thought that was very weird. I was like, no. And then he had said, well, there's a aura, a spirit, whatever, that likes to play with you guys and grab at your ankles, but he means no harm. He's just wanting to play. Okay, guys, so this is when it starts to get very like eerie and like, all right. So this man then proceeds to, you know, walk throughout the house. We're following him like idiots, you know, like seeing what this guy's gonna tell us. And this is the one that sticks to me to this day. It's gonna get worse, but this is the one that to me, it bothers me, but it doesn't at the same time. It's just so freaking creepy. So this guy, he told us, he said, there's a spirit in your house that is drawn to your daughter, my younger sister, who at the time I was 13, she had to be 11, but we have a two-year age gap, 3 years. 2 to 3 years. So he goes, there's a spirit here who's drawn to your daughter and wants to always be with your daughter, or always is with your daughter rather. He's always playing with her, but he means her no harm. He cares about her. He just likes to be around her. And then he says, he goes, that the spirit is actually a little person, you know, like a small person. And I remember my family, we all looked at each other. I looked at my dad, I looked at my mom. We were floored because my little sister always had an imaginary friend named Shorty. Like, that to us was, I was so fucking creeped out. It still to this day makes my hairs crawl, because guys, I'm not saying it, she said Shorty like once or twice. She would refer to this person that she would see that we couldn't see. She would always say, Shorty, come here, Shorty, come here, Shorty. She would sit around like on the floor playing with whatever she would play with, and she would be talking to Shorty. So for this person, this fucking medium, to tell us your daughter has a friend, an imaginary friend who we thought was imaginary, who's actually a freaking spirit in the house that was named Shorty, dude, we lost it. But for us, I mean, for me at least, it gave me comfort knowing that he didn't mean her any harm. He just really, in my eyes, probably was a lost soul, wanted to, you know, be around her. He probably felt her positive energy. Yeah, that was freaking insane. So when that happened, I'm like, okay, this guy is on the money. He's not full of shit. I thought he was just trying to jip my dad for money. So that was one instance, and already I was sold that this guy was really, you know, who he said he was. So that was it. He walked the house and he didn't feel anything. And I remember he was ready to leave, and I remember asking my dad, because backtracking, my bedroom, for some reason I had the biggest bedroom in the house. My bedroom had 2 doors. One that led obviously to the bedroom and out to the rest of the house, but then the other one that was towards the back of my room led to the garage. And you guys, when I tell you that garage, it was like a garage, laundry room, storage room. It was the scariest room in the entire house. Anytime you would go in there, you would feel just like this uncomfortable, eerie feeling, like that eyes were on you. I always felt like that. It was really dark. There was boxes everywhere. If you would look up to the ceiling, you would see nothing but black, and it was really scary. And I always felt like a really bad energy in there, always, since I was little. So anyway, so the guy's about to leave, and I prior again had experienced so many things in the house, things touching me, bad dreams, sleepwalking, all this kind of stuff that I knew it wasn't just my imagination. So the guy was ready to leave, and I tell my dad, I kind of like nudge him. I'm like, hey, have him check the garage. And then my dad was like, hey, in Spanish, he goes, oh, like, mi mijo, da wants you to check the garage. And then the guy's like, okay, sure, see. And so we're all walking towards that door, the one that leads to the garage. It was shut at the time. This is something literally out of like an Insidious type of shit movie, you guys. It is so fucking scary what happened next. I think I've told this story to, like, for sure family, maybe some friends, for sure friends, my older friends. So this man opens the door. It opened like, probably didn't make that noise, but you get what I mean. All I see is this man's hair. He was really fucking hairy. His arms were like Bushmen. His hairs, you guys, go like up to this freaking sky, as if he had seen like the devil himself, you guys. He was so freaking terrified at what he had just seen, and my family, like, it almost like he felt like hurt by it, like scared but hurt, like almost like he couldn't take the feeling of what he had just seen, and he wouldn't go inside. He was just like by like the frame of the door, and he was just like looking at whatever he was looking at. And then I remember him saying, in other words, like, this is it, this is the spirit that you guys feel. Nothing else in the house has made you guys, you know, uncomfortable or like fight or anything. No bad energy is in the house. It's here, and it's this person, this woman. And he said it was a woman. And he kind of gave us like a backstory, and I'm kind of going in circles. This wasn't in any like chronological order. He was like, this is a person that wants you guys out of this house. And he said this was her land before it was even a house. So she's very, in other words, like territorial. She feels as if it's still hers. So anyone that steps foot into this house, any owner or anyone that lives here, she is gonna try to get out, and she's gonna torture, and she's gonna try to like fuck with, to make you scared, to make you uncomfortable. And we are scared as hell at this point, because this is like movie type shit. And he asked us, he goes, she taunts you guys. So whenever, if you guys are ever walking around your house and you feel something kind of at the back of your neck following you, she likes to flick her hair at you, because she has very long gray and blackish hair, and she'll get it and she'll like flick it at your back. And that is just like, it's so gross to think about. And then the last thing I remember is him almost fighting with her, like arguing with her in like a tongue. Like, it wasn't Spanish for sure, it wasn't anything I had ever heard before, any language that I was like familiar with. And he was just telling her like, basically, you're gonna get out of this house, fighting with her. They were going back and forth from what he was telling us. He said she was just sitting there laughing at us, like laughing at the fact that we were like trying to like manipulate her or like provoke her. And that was really it. And then we shut the door, go in the living room, and I don't even remember what happened after that. I don't know what the resolution was. All I know is that I was scared, beyond scared. I was so terrified to even be in my house after that, because it was almost reassurance that everything that I had experienced, everything that I had gone through, things that I thought I had seen or felt were completely true. Like, that was literally validation that I wasn't fucking crazy. Because guys, again, I had experienced so much stuff in that room in particular. People, or whatever it was, a spirit, whatever the hell that person was, like touching me in my sleep, me sleepwalking, all this stuff, you know, it wasn't a coincidence. So after that happened, I don't even remember even sleeping in that bedroom ever again. And I was 13 and 15, 13 and 15. I don't think I ever slept in that room again. I would sleep in the living room. I was so terrified to even be in that laundry room, because I felt like that person was in there, and I almost visualized what she looks like really like old and like, I don't know, like very like, I don't know, like a cave woman almost. That's what I literally imagined this person to look like. So I think he was supposed to come back and do a cleanse, which never happened. I don't even know how much my dad paid him to come to the house, let alone to come back and cleanse it, which never happened again. It made me a firm believer in, one, mediums, and two, the supernatural, and like the other side of like, of our life. There is another, realm that we are blind to, but that can definitely connect to us. But that's it, you guys. I mean, I didn't want to creep you guys out if I did, if I didn't. If you guys don't believe me, totally up to you. If you guys do believe me, which I know a lot of you guys I've told this story to do believe me, definitely happened. I would love to bring it up to my mom. I don't think my mom and I have talked about this since it happened. She's probably gonna say something stupid like, oh, ese viejo estaba loco, like all that stuff. But no, I know what I saw, I know what I felt, and it was completely true. My little sister's friend Shorty, completely creepy. Homegirl who wanted to like kill us, all true. This is fun. I love talking about paranormal stuff. So if you guys have anything you guys want to like, I don't know, like reach out to me about, maybe something you've dealt with, I would love to hear it. Maybe I could tell your story on here, some paranormal stuff. Again, I love talking about it. I won't do it at home though. I will not talk about this stuff at home in my apartment. Hell no. It just attracts really bad energy, and I know that, so I will do it here behind my gym's parking lot in my car. So my car could be haunted, but I don't want my place to be haunted. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Follow me on Instagram at I am Jaydius. Follow me on here at Jaydius, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.